once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to the show. Bienvenidos a todos a one and done. Your fast break of college basketball información. Recording live from somewhere less than a week from official games. Jabrowski's wanted to get back into the studio and chop it up about what we've seen in the preseason and to present our week 0 power rankings. My name is Jay Heinrich, and I happen to be the conductor of the aforementioned one and done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. You can follow us on the show page. You see it scrolling across the bottom there at one and done CBB. But do yourself a favor, follow this man first. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the one and done ship. He does the ship, I do the train. At MC Holland 34 over there on Elon's Hellhole, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, less than a week away. How you feeling? What it do?
I feel amazing, man. Like, this is crazy. We're going to have Monday, we're going to have official hoops. We've been having some really good hoops during the exhibition season, which has been nice. So yeah, we got the gang jumping into the live chat. Man, we have been so busy over the last couple of months. Like, we did our best ball draft. That show was so much fun. And thanks to everyone that joined and people that watched, man, that was a ton of fun. So can't wait to see how that all folds out. The DFS slate came out yesterday for Monday. We know that that's going to be a hot one, as Cam is saying in the chat, right? Is it too early? It's a little too early, but I think we'll be back here in a few days to knock that one out of the park, man, and hopefully see some old commas over there on DraftKings. Then I went on with Steve and the gang over at Run Pure Sports to do a preview, kind of a collaborative thing. I think Steve's going to come on pretty soon with us, and we'll just kind of chop it up maybe on a news and notes show. Or we'll just kind of talk and see what's going to happen, man. But there's a lot of stuff going on, man. If you guys didn't check out, guys and gals didn't check out, we did preview all 31 conferences. So go back and look at the tape. There's only like a mistake or two, right? Outside of that, that's not too bad, right? Mason jumping in saying it's never too early. It's not too early, Mason. Welcome in, my man. But excited to be here, Jay. We got just a couple of things to talk about. And then, of course, we're going to toss out these spicy power rankings, which I'm sure – it's exhibition season. Like, we can't take that. Well, you know.
We're ready, though, man.
That's what it is.
We have some opinions, and we're glad you're here to listen to them. So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Join over 1,610 of your fellow hoophead brethren, sisterin, whatever it is. Push that button and join us. Will you hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss a minute of our coverage? All right. Let's get to our maybe some news and notes here as we approach opening night less than a week away. Let's start with freshmen shining in exhibitions across the country. Mike, last year's freshman class, obviously a generational group. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Cooper Flagg. He was okay. But then also, pardon me, guys like Harper and Bailey out at Rutgers. You got Edgecombe, Queen, Kneppel, Fears, others, right? A big freshman class that we were very excited to talk about last year. And we didn't really expect this 25 class to be anywhere near that level. But I think with what we saw just over the last week, passing the eye test, this crop is going to be just as strong and most likely just as impactful. Look at some of the numbers up on the board against top competition. Darren Peterson out in Kansas, 25 points and 5 steals. Quick hands. Active at Louisville. There are no stage too big for these guys, right? AJ DeBonsa, the number 3 overall pick in our best ball draft by our guy Darren. Excuse me. 18 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks, 3 steals against North Carolina. Yeah, this is some big-time competition here, right? We've been just salivating at Cam Boozer's game. 33 points, 12 boards, 4 assists against UCF, and then followed it up with 24 and 23 at Tennessee.
Wow.
No doubt about it. He's going to have himself a nice year. Darius Acuff in Arkansas, 17 points, 4 dimes versus the Bearcats of Cincinnati. And then Caleb Wilson, obviously UNC, Frosh, 22 points and 10 boards in that game against DeBonsa and BYU. Mike, what are your thoughts on this freshman class as we start to approach this season? Obviously some ballers all around the country.
Yeah, and maybe because of last year with the Cooper Flagg generational player, right? It was like, oh, there's no way there can be multiple guys that live up. It's usually we see, a couple of guys here or there. Well, these guys are already going off against – it is top competition. Like, Peterson was on the road at Louisville. They're playing all their guys. Like, North Carolina and BYU, 2 top 25 teams going at it, man. Like, Boozer at Tennessee. Rick Barnes was literally on – while he was saying he was mixing and matching, players and trying to find combinations, like, they were playing hard. So to put up those type of numbers is actually pretty crazy. The 24 and 23 was nuts. And he kind of did it effortlessly. So like he's primed for a big year, man. There's just a lot of good freshmen out there, man. I think the key thing is going to be what do they have to go with them? So like you look at Peterson, Boozer, and Wilson, like for them, it feels like they have to be the alpha and they're gonna have to have consistency in order for their teams to be successful. When you look at Devonta, like he can have an off night because BYU has a lot of talent. I mean, you've got Richie Saunders, he's pretty good, right? Rob Wright, he's pretty good. Kevin Keita, he's a solid piece at the center. Like they got a lot of pieces. And then we talked about Arkansas, right? Like they just have a ton of pieces, especially in that front court. So yeah, with Acuff, he's not going to have to be, him putting up 17 and 4, right? Like he's not going to put up these, crazy stat lines you're going to see the Boozers and the Darren Petersons put up, but it's going to be just as effective, I think, man. So really exciting times for these teams, and it's kind of nice to see that we're not taking like this huge drop off because, I mean, what's exciting, right? You get the portal and seeing new teams play together, Jay. But then what's exciting, it's always been like this, are the freshmen, the 5-star freshmen that come in because, it's like you didn't get to see them last year. So it's like, oh, man, this is brand new. You know what I mean?
Brand new. We were very high on Harper and Bailey last year as a duo, and obviously that didn't go the way that Rutgers wanted it to. Very talented players still. There's no doubt about that. But to see these freshmen playing at this level, even in an exhibition, guys and gals, we understand that. But like Louisville was playing their guys, like everybody's playing, like they're tuning up. The athletes are on the court, and they all look like they belong. Snake's Eyes brought up Kentucky in the chat earlier, and they smacked around Purdue 78-65 in their exhibition, holding the Boilermakers to 39% shooting and 18% from deep. Braden Smith, our number one player and Wooden Award favorites in the preseason, limited to 11 points, 4 boards, and 5 dimes. TKR did have 19 and 5. I know you're going to talk about TKR and what they're doing with him in a minute. Fletcher Lawyer struggled shooting 3 for 15 from the floor, but did find a way to get 14 points. Let's talk some positives here for Big Blue Nation. On the other side, Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quaintance did not play, but still played 10 players, 16-plus minutes each. Speaking of freshmen, Jasper Johnson is one that Big Blue Nation is familiar with, scoring a team-high 15 points off the bench and added 3 dimes as well. Owe and Noah both scored 10 points. And then Diabate was flirting with a double-double as well. It's only the preseason, Mike, but you have been open about your concerns with Purdue. But as, who was it earlier, Snake's Eyes saying Kentucky's loaded. They're deep, probably the most explosive team in the country. So give us some bad news first about Purdue and then hit Kentucky.
Oh, man. I mean, it's what we've been banging on the drum, man. Like, and I get it's just one game, right? And I just don't understand. I don't understand the TKR Clough pairing. We've talked about it. It doesn't make any sense. You're shrinking the floor for the best point guard in the country. So, like, yeah, your wings are awesome from deep, but are the wings a consistent threat when there's no pop, right? I mean, I don't know. To me, if you're just having your bigs roll to the basket, like it just shrinks the floor for you. So teams are just going to live with giving up 2s from TKR, which I'm sure you don't mind, Jay, as an owner from him in our best ball league. But they're just going to make him make some plays. I think he had 4 or 5 assists. And, yeah, I mean, they're going to be okay with that. And people are going to say, well, Mike, but they had Edey at the 5, and he didn't stretch the floor. Well, yeah, and TKR was at the 4, right? Well, Edey's a different animal because you can play through the post and all 5 guys. I was just at the Spurs game last night. It's crazy to watch Wembanyama, the attention that he gets. Like, everyone is paying attention. The same thing with Edey, obviously National Player of the Year. I mean, TKR, he's a great player, but he's only going to command some double teams, every now and then. And teams are honestly just going to be okay with him giving up 2s. That's the analytics error. Like, okay, we'll give up 2s and just not give away Braden Smith, just spraying it out to open 3-point shooters and then having all kinds of problems. And teams aren't going to double Clough because guess what? Yeah, he did dominate at South Dakota State, but hey, he was, he hasn't really shown anything at this particular level. So I don't know, man. I think for me, like, we're not going to have this issue when we see Purdue. They're just going to smash teams that are like sub 30 on Ken Palm, right? Like they're just too good. Braden Smith's too good. But when you start playing these top 30 teams, especially the top 25, 20 in defensive efficiency, like that floor spacing not being there, it just doesn't make any sense. As Snake Size is saying, like TKR is much better at the 5. Like it just makes more sense. I don't know that he wants to play the 5. He wants to play the 4, but why didn't they go out and get maybe Jacobson? He did hit a 3-pointer, the big man, the sophomore. So we'll see if he's able to kind of usurp some of those minutes from Clough. I think Clough's got to be like a backup big for them in some capacity. Maybe they start Liam Murphy at the 4. I don't know, man. But Purdue fans they're definitely gonna feel the loss of Cam Murphy, and we've been talking about it all offseason. For Kentucky, Jay, it's a couple of points, man. You kind of nailed it. Dude, they have 12 dudes that can ball. Now, they only had 10 of them the other night, but they can shoot, they can create, they can defend. There was that report that Pope spent, $22 million on the roster? Well, it looks like he spent $22 million. On our previous show, we didn't even talk about Jasper Johnson and Moreno, like the 2 freshmen, basically 5 stars. So, and we don't even have Low and Quaintance. Like this is like, watch out, man. Like they're not going to have the issues of last year. The only thing that can slow them down is if everyone – half of those dudes get hurt. And they had that stuff happen to them last year, and history's probably not going to repeat itself. And they're actually much deeper this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this isn't the same depth as we're having to deal with last year and find a way to piece things together, right? Like, this looks like the deepest team in the country. Yeah. And friend of the show, Coach Pope, definitely has a lot to work with. For sure. If you don't know, we interviewed Mark Pope when he was still the coach at BYU. And then what do you know? A year later, he's out in, out in Kentucky. So you're welcome, Coach, as always. And we hope to have you back on the show very soon. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I'm sure you have if you've stuck around this long. We definitely appreciate that. We've seen the subs boosting up a little bit. We're on our way to 11 gazillion fulfillion and 1. That is the goal. That's a good number. YouTube is going to make a special thing for us. They already told me. But until then, why don't you help us get to 1625? Why don't you push that button and let's keep it on. It's the climb. Oh, I didn't want to hit the note tonight. No singing right now, but I am going to sing the praises of Michigan. They outlasted St. John's in overtime, 96-94. Johnny's kept it close, living at the free throw line, and they needed it from the charity stripe because the 3-point line was not so charitable. 4 for 23, the Johnnies were. Let's start with Ejiofor, though, man. Big East preseason player of the year, picked up where he left off last season. 24 points, 5 boards, 6 dimes. That's what we're going to expect from him on a semi-regular basis. Atlanta looks exactly like that. Do not be surprised to see that from Ejiofor. Dylan Mitchell had a strong game, 13 points, 8 boards. Uzziah Sellers struggling with fouls, man. Ian Jackson struggled with his shot. But it was good to see Bryce Hopkins, Mike, as a full go, logged 40 minutes, 4-0 in this exhibition on his way to 13 points and 9 rebounds. Struggled from the field a little bit with efficiency, but, look pretty good. On the Michigan side here, shot 42% from 3, and the 3 bigs looked awesome. And sort of what we thought, as we discussed previously, what we thought would be the case would be that only 2 of them would start, and that is exactly what happened. Yaxel Lindeborg, who should probably be playing his 3rd or 4th NBA game right now, was a monster. 25 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. Morris Johnson, 15 points and 8 boards as well. Ademara, 13 points and 5 boards, 4 dimes, only 24 minutes. Just a really nice line for him there. Cadeau looked great as well. 9 efficient points and 9 assists. The scoring was efficient, but the ball handling maybe not as much. Did turn the ball over 5 times, which is, that's what you get with Ellie Cadeau. Roddy Gale, let's not forget Roddy Gale also in double figures as well, 11 points in the win. Mike, I know these are 2 teams that we have identified as having a ton of talent and plenty of people have as well, but also in the same vein, question marks with rotations and fit. Yeah. So what are you thinking so far from these 2 squads?
I love what I'm seeing from Dusty May. I thought that Lindeborg was going to start at the 3. He's not. They actually started him at the 4, and they put Ademar at the 5 and brought Merez off the bench, man. That is an awesome rotation. That trio is going to be crazy this year. Outside of Florida, and to a lesser extent Gonzaga because of their two starters with Huff and Ike. Like this front court lineup is crazy, man. Plus 3 guys stay healthy. It's going to be a nightmare. Really, it's going to be up to this backcourt, man. Like you said, Cadeau, he's okay. He can't have 5 turnovers, right? And he's going to be the X factor. If he can be more efficient from the field, knock down some outside shots, space the floor a little bit, take care of the basketball, this team is going to be dangerous, especially if Roddy Gale decides that he wants to kind of just fit and not be a number 1, number 2 type option. So I don't know, man. Like we'll see what he does here. I think he needs to be in like this tertiary type role so he can be like a winning piece. So yeah, I had some questions on fit. I liked what I saw. We'll have to continue seeing that as we actually open the season. And for St. John's, man, they did the complete opposite. They took their 3 bigs and they just started them. They put Hopkins and Mitchell and Ejiofor on the floor at the same time. They went out in the portal and they got all kinds of shooting. And then they didn't get a point guard and they added Mitchell late. And it was like, what are we doing here? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Isaiah Sellers, we don't really know if he's going to be able to run the point at all because he was in foul trouble. Dylan Darling was out there for like 31 minutes, Jay, struggling from the floor. I think he was like 1 for 9 or something, but he needs that experience. I think he's going to end up having to be the floor general most of the time if Sellers can't get it done.
I'm glad you brought that up. That he's the guy that just needs to be on the floor in these situations to get that under his belt, right? Like they're gonna have to rely on him. Like it is what
they have to. Unless Sellers all of a sudden just learns how to. He hadn't done it since AAU, and we don't know because he didn't get to play because he was in foul trouble. So maybe there's hope there. Like I know Johnny K is not in here right now, but he was excited, about how Dylan Mitchell played. But it's like they need to stagger these bigs, man. Like it does not make any sense to play Hopkins, who can't space the floor, Dylan Mitchell, who can only space the floor at NBA workouts, and Zuby, who doesn't shoot threes.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I don't know, man. Just we'll see what's saying. It's Patino, man. He'll figure it out. I think. Yeah.
Well, and I would you be surprised if they changed their starting 5 on opening night?
No, I would not be surprised if they did that. But they still hung tough. They hung tough, right? So they're gonna be good defensively. That's gonna obviously that was them last year. They're good defensively. They didn't have any shooters. This year they have shooters, but they don't have rotation fits right now. So
I'll figure it out, man. It just makes me feel like watching them at the beginning of the season and sort of seeing them piece it all together. Like when that team with that coach, when it clicks, it's going to click.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to take very long.
Yeah, I might have had them number 1 in the country if they just gotten Nate George from Georgia Tech to be their point guard. Just not you don't have to go get a Jalen Lowe or just point guard. So we'll see how
somebody
it works
to feel good about that.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do.
All right. Good deal. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I know that it's been nice to watch those numbers on the climb, man. It's hoop season, man. People are getting amped up. I know I'm amped up. Mike's hyped up. We're ready to talk DFS.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that show here. What do you think, man? Towards the end of the
I guess towards the end of the week, Thursday or Friday. It depends on kind of when our schedules align, and then we'll throw it out there. Man, we got an 8-gamer. I think they're doing $5K to first. We'll throw out some.
Devonta's the price king of king of the season. Love to see that.
Yeah, 9,500. So I know the chat's gonna be super interested. We'll chat and cheat. Yeah, that's the 4th big on Michigan. We're gonna jam in.
Hey, excuse me. We start notoriously hot around around these parts in those DFS streets. So make sure you're around for that. Hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell just in case you're not around. You need to get that notification. Oh wow, Jay and Mike are talking DFS. I better get in there. Cool. I want to win money. I want to see commas. I want to chase those commas. That's what we do around here. We chase commas. We're chasing checks. That's what we do. So make sure you hit those buttons so you don't miss it. All right. I want to give a shout out real quick to Texas State, man. I went down to San Marcos and watched their exhibition.
Oh, that's right.
Yesterday against Houston Tillotson, I should say. Texas State dropped a hundy on them. A little over 100. I think it was 102.
Nice. Did you get some kind of free Whataburger or something? Or
down there? Surprisingly, no. It was actually Raising Cane's. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's some San Marcos stuff down there. No, we got to go on the court and everything down there. But I just wanted to give a shout out real quick to our guy Caden Gomes. I tweeted about him, and he replied back. We exchanged the follows, and he's somebody that in the Sun Belt, man, is going to be a guard to watch for sure. But yeah, good stuff. Shout out to Texas State. We ended up on the floor, and it's Texas State, man. You can pretty much do whatever you want down there. But anyways, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. We're gonna talk about DFS here later this week. Of course, the opening slate, so make sure you're around for that. Mike, I don't think we should zip around any longer. Let's go ahead and start our Week 0 official power rankings. We had our off-season power rankings, of course, that we made. We're gonna have maybe a little bit of movement here. We might be able to show you if we get some graphics up here. From our offseason power rankings. But number 25, we're going to start with the Creighton Blue Jays. We're all waiting to see this new look squad. Owen Freeman's health is obviously key. He's working his way back from injury. No Kalkbrenner, right? Can they defend without him? We'll see. We shall see. Number 24. Yeah, right. So
a big loss.
How do you fill those shoes, my guy? I don't know if you can with one guy, but they're going to have to try to do something there. NC State Wolfpack number 24 on the power rankings. Obviously, one of the big wild cards on a national scale. Will Wade taking that job. What can he do in year one? Darren Williams, preseason ACC player of the year. That's probably, is it the biggest?
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's the biggest overall story, but like just in terms of the biggest wild card, the biggest like
what's going to happen with NC State?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and Will Wade, we obviously know he can coach his ass off. So we'll see if he can get it done with the Wolfpack. Remember, the Wolfpack that are only 2 years removed from a pretty deep run in the tournament, and Will Wade coming in here. Anyways. What can he do? Mike, what about number 23? Who we got?
Yeah, so number 23, man, we have Michigan State, who's going to be down a spot here. So they're coming down. So we did our off-season one like 3 months ago. Now we're doing our Week 0 right here. So we got Michigan State coming down one spot. Reigning Big Ten champs. When we did the initial off-season, we had some question marks about outside shooting and kind of the overall ceiling. So I think it has more to do with kind of what another team, a couple of other teams have done to kind of push some of these teams down a spot. But, I mean, you got a lot of breakout potential players here, man. You got Fears, you got Kohler, who we're pretty high on. And, of course, Jay, it's Tom Izzo. He's going to win games. He's going to challenge at the very top. That's why we have them in our high tier. So we'll see, man. One of the things I'm going to be paying attention to early on is that outside shooting. Can Trey Fort, be enough coming in from buckyball at Samford? He's going to be a big piece of the puzzle there. Number 22, which is falling down one spot, going to be the North Carolina Tar Heels Cam's squad right here. So when you kind of compare the two, right, North Carolina, I feel like you get a little more upside with North Carolina, Jay, than you do with Michigan State. It feels like the floor with Michigan State is very, very solid. I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me Michigan State, I would be shocked if Michigan State had a terrible season, had even just an average season, right? I wouldn't necessarily be shocked if the Tar Heels kind of, mucked it up and obviously didn't make the tournament. They probably shouldn't have made it last year. But I feel like the upside with the team, especially with what we saw from Caleb Wilson, he's the real deal. I love Vasar. X Factor obviously going to be Kyan Evans, man, the point guard. They have questions there. Can he and Seth Trimble, can they really work it out as being, on ball? So we'll see how that works, man. And then last one we have here to round out the first 5 coming in from the top 25, the Auburn Tigers. And this is a drop. We had them at 15. But this was before we knew that Bruce Pearl wasn't coaching. And then, yes, when we watched the Oklahoma State game, they cannot defend. And that was huge for them last year. They had Broom and Cardwell, who were 2 of the best rim protectors in the game. You also had a bunch of 3-and-D wings in Miles Kelly, Chad Baker-Mazzara. You don't really have that this year. Now, I think they can still be elite offensively, man, getting carved up by an Oklahoma State team that's basically filled with a bunch of ISO guys, that's pretty scary because and I was on the RPS, talking about this team, and I'm like, what happens when they play teams that have synergy and that like have the connected pieces like that? So yeah, it is early. I think we just don't know what Stephen Pearl is. Yeah, man. So we got Auburn down here at number 21 now. So a little bit of a slide, but that's probably where they should be. A little bit higher than them.
It feels right. And obviously these are our locked in, stone cold lead pipe, will never change, will always be perfect rankings at this time. I saw Mason, talking about Creighton, and saying, he sees a lot of overrated teams in the first five, right, of our top 25. I see an opportunity for us to like look at Creighton and talk about Creighton. Nobody knows what that team's going to look like, but we can kind of figure out like there's some talent there, and that's a good coach, and that's a machine. So I don't have a problem with, obviously, I'm sure, our top 25 looks different than the AP top 25, looks different than Mason's 25. But I love it. Let's keep the conversation rolling, man.
Mason wants Nebraska in there. That's why, man. He saw Rick Mass drop 30 on BYU.
All right. I don't know about all that, Mason, but we'll see. But I can't tell you Nebraska will be, but I can tell you that Tennessee is. They're number 20, falling down a spot. A bunch of new faces led by Jacoby Gillespie. We know it's Rick Barnes. They're going to play a physical brand of defense. That's just what they do. I think the biggest question is, can Nate Ament, and somebody talked about him earlier in the chat, can he be the Lanier or Connect type answer for them on offense? That's a big question mark.
Yeah, a big question mark
in this conference at this level on a night in and night out basis, to expect Ament to come in there and do that. So we'll see if he can, but we have Tennessee at number 20. Yep. What about number 19, Mike?
Another team that fell down the spot, man, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. But I just mentioned the front court. Like, if you just mentioned the starting front courts, like, they're up there. I mean, Huff and Ike, that's dominant. Really, the only thing kind of keeping them from being higher in our power rankings is the point guard position, which we talked about when we, were mentioning them in our WCC preview. It's like, you got Mario St. Superi and the other Braden Smith, right? One of those guys has to take a step forward, like, absolutely has to take a step forward. For Nembhard, because Nembhard, like, assist to turnover ratio, best in the country. I'm pretty sure he led the country in assists, just under 10 a game, man. So, Gonzaga here. Awesome news, Jay. I wanted to get your quick thoughts. Tyon Grant Foster, something that really the whole college basketball world has been tracking. Finally going to be able to play. An injunction came down. He's going to be able to play. It was kind of cool. There was a video of him running out on the court yesterday, the exhibition. He had like the court meeting. The court was at like 2 and the game was at like 6. It took 2.5 hours. He ran onto the court. Like, he just gotten there. Like, it's pretty cool stuff, man, for a guy that, I mean, literally almost died, like Coach Fee said, like heart issues and just all kinds of injuries that derailed his career, man. And we're seeing like G League guys now coming back into college. So, like, what are we doing here, Jay? I think it's a pretty cool decision by the judge here, and I'm excited to see him play. And he raises the ceiling, so we might not be talking about Gonzaga at 19 for very long, my man. What were your thoughts on?
I think that you're right. I think that this definitely makes Gonzaga a better team. Obviously, Tyon Grant Foster is a great ball player. I wish that this wouldn't have taken this long to happen. We were tweeting out. I was tweeting out about how, like, they were 4 days away and there's a hearing, and it's like from a exhibition, and then there's a hearing for Grant Foster. I'm like, what are we doing,
do something, man?
But this is what it is. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. So we got that in there. Tyon Grant Foster obviously cleared for Gonzaga. What about Iowa State? We had Iowa State at number 18. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, so we got Iowa State dipping down 2 spots to number 18 here. Unfortunately, Lipsy is once again dealing with injuries, but the hope is that he'll be ready. They're saying it might not be season opener, but maybe a few games. They're not going to rush him back in the non-con, right? They have bigger goals, right? But to me, they're another team that's kind of like, a wild card, which is weird to say because they have a lot of continuity and guys coming back, and you have Joshua Jefferson. So they feel like a solid team, but I have questions on like their full upside. It's somewhere, man. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Coach Otzelberger is awesome. Thus, I wouldn't be shocked, right, if they were top 10 team in 6 weeks. But Lipsey's got to get healthy, man.
Didn't I text you about Jefferson looking like he looked lost, and then like I just watched him. That was like a 2-minute stretch where he like stepped out of bounds, and he just, you know what I mean, like turnover, and then he spent the rest of the game just making me eat my words, and then he like exclamation mark block to close out the half, and the game or whatever. He's a really great player, and they do have the continuity to make something happen there. Number 17, Mike, Louisville, sticking around that number. We've liked them to settle in right there at number 17 for us the last couple of polls, I guess, rankings that we've had. And they're 17 not because of their ability to get buckets. That's not anything that we need to worry about, I should say. Like, they're going to get plenty. They're ranked this low because of the potential to step back defensively, man. Like this team, with the way that they score the basketball, potentially this should be like a borderline top 10 team. And if they can get stops in a weak ACC, like they're one of the favorites, obviously.
Yeah.
And Coach Kelsey, he can coach. Like
we saw that last year.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's obviously there for the taking. I know Duke is Duke, but they have their reputation in that conference that they have for a reason. We don't really anticipate them being too much stronger this year. Very top heavy, so Louisville's just going to beat people up. Number 17 right now in our power rankings.
Yep.
Mike, finish off this 5-team slide here with us for number 16, a team on the rise.
Yeah, I got the Fighting Illini at +4. So much talent, man. We were probably underrating them a little bit because these international guys, we wanted to see them. We got to see David Mirkovic. He looked amazing. Avicic was out. When he comes back, he had his tonsils taken out, as I believe Tomislav did. Now you got both brothers just set to do damage. We know how elite Big Z can be whenever he's healthy and right in limited minutes, right? He can do some really good things on and off the court. Their offensive profile, Jay, is pretty elite. And if Mihailo Petrovic, the point guard coming over, if he's anything close to what people are saying that he could be, this climb could be right here at the beginning.
No doubt about it. There's 5 more right there. Why don't we just keep it rolling, Mike? How about we move on to number 15, a team that I'm very fond of, a team close to my heart, a team that I no longer have a love story with. But Arizona, man, coming in number 15 on our power rankings.
Yeah, man. No more Caleb Love, but dropping a spot from our offseason power rankings into our week 0 power rankings. Feels like they're flying below the radar nationally, if you can say that. The talking of Big 12, obviously Houston, what Kansas has been doing. And we'll talk about Kansas here in a second, but these freshmen, Pete and Barry's, man, they're ready-made. These some big boys, man. Jaden Bradley looked really good in that exhibition the other day. So can't really wait to see what they can do this year. I think they're in a prime spot to have a nice year, even though people are just kind of like, oh yeah, they'll have a solid year, but I think they can have a little more ceiling to them this year, man. What do you think about number 14 here, who's dropping a spot as well?
Not too far though, obviously dropping. That is Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of talent gone, but the cupboard is not bare, my friends. Philon and Holloway have a chance to be the most dangerous backcourt in the game. I think the question is what are they going to get out of the 5 position? Their schedule is absolutely brutal once again. Early on, we're going to find out what they're made of in the Crimson Tide. They're number 14 in our power rankings. Mike, a team here that at number 13, that's it's easy to understand why we sort of shortchanged them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
But Kansas, man, making a big jump here in our power rankings.
Yeah, plus 10 spots. And okay, so here's the deal, right? It's not just the exhibition, but last year they went out and spent a bunch of the portal and they got guys that did not fit. This year, they went out and got certain pieces that we think are interesting that could fit, but it all relies on Darren Peterson being a superstar, which he 100% looks like. I was watching the league, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is pretty incredible. Floyd Badunga is an instant upgrade defensively over Hunter Dickinson. Great shot blocker, can switch, and he's just an impact player around the rim for your offense. The question was, like, do they have enough shooting? I don't know. That's still a question that has to be answered. But, I mean, like, Trey White's a nice little piece for them. So they have some guys, right? And they kind of did it where they want guys to fit around these two stars.
All right, I got to ask you, man. We were obviously lower on them. We know Peterson's impact is going to be huge. We were questioning if Bill Self was long for the game anymore. Yeah. Is Peterson really that big of an impact player?
Man, I'm telling you, like, he just changes everything for them. Like, we had him, 23, right? Because we were just like, borderline, man. But this guy looks like a superstar, man. Yeah, Kansas mid-tier. They were, absolutely. They were mid-tier, man. But based on what I've seen, that's one game on the road at Louisville, exhibition, whatever. We knew we were going to catch flack for this. Everybody, people don't like Kansas anyway.
Love it.
So, hey, whatever it is, man. But, like, look, you put these two guys on the court with Trey White, with some of the other pieces that we kind of saw there in that game. I think that, if we were redoing our rankings now based on what we got to see, then they would definitely be in the high tier, man. So that's the great thing about college basketball. It's always changing. Another team that, man, like, we have them at 12, Arkansas, and I'm not so sure that this isn't the challenger to Kentucky in the SEC. We probably made a mistake not moving them at all, because this backcourt, and I'm telling you, like, once they figure out that DJ Wagner only needs to play 20-ish minutes, that they need to obviously utilize the front court of Brazil, Ewan. I don't know what we're doing. Nick Pringle just needs to be a guy off the bench to help them out a little bit. But, man, like, A-Cuff, they got some dudes, man. Like, Cal is locked and loaded, man. So I don't think we're going to see I would be shocked, honestly, Jay, if we didn't see them in the top 5 in a few weeks. So I know we got one more on here, number 11, Jay. What you got?
Yeah, UConn, and our favorite personality to talk about, Coach Hurley out there, obviously. Feels like maybe a little bit of that shine has fallen off, but still obviously a borderline top 10 team here. That Mullins injury stings a little bit, but they're still going to be elite offensively. I feel like at this point, the only thing really standing between them and a top 10 power ranking is the profile on defense. So we'll see what we can get out of them. Obviously, a criminally seeded last year in the big dance, and none of that matters this year. But they know how to win. There's a lot of winners around that program.
Winning
we'll see if they can. Yeah, winning does. It's hard.
UConn haters. We hated on them last year. We were low on them last year, and look what happened.
Yeah, we were super low on them last year. The hate was justified. We were just talking about hating them in the show. And Mike was asking me where I had all this hate. I hate watched the Dodgers game last night to see if Clayton Kershaw was going to get torched, and of course he didn't. And then I fell asleep and didn't even get to. I wasn't staying up for 18 friggin' innings anyway. But Darren, thanks for the reminder. Coach Hurley, could have coached the Lakers, right? What a butterfly effect that would have been. All things considered. But let's get to our top 10 here, Mike.
Almost beat Florida.
Man. Well,
a lot of teams almost beat a lot of teams last year.
That's true. We saw one of those teams almost beat another team in the Final Four, even though they should have actually beaten that other team. But speaking of Duke, anyways, let's get to this top 10 in our power rankings and close out the night. Number 10, UCLA, another team where we love the offensive potential. Donovan Dent's going to be a star. Is Coach Cronin going to play faster, utilize the weapons that he has at his disposal, man? I don't know. It's going to be necessary, I think, for them to jump into that sort of Final Four type of a team. But we shall see. UCLA at number 10. Number 9, Mike, a team that we are familiar with here in the state of Texas, and it's those pesky Red Raiders.
Yeah, I'm really, really high on the Red Raiders this year. They're kind of all over the place here, man. Like, I can't wait to see what Lawan Watts does as a replacement for Darren Williams. Like, I feel like the drop-off in the type of player is not going to be as impactful as some people think. So we'll see. That's kind of my take here, because they have some guy named JT Toppin. Also, Christian Anderson's a nice player. Yeah, he's a pretty good player. So Texas Tech dropping one spot. We had them at 8. dropping them down here at 9. Jay, at number 8, we have another team dropping one spot. We got the BYU Cougars, and we've already kind of talked about them, man. AJ Devonta, a freak athlete. How do you stop these guys defensively? Devonta, Wright, Saunders, we kind of talked about this already, right? I need to see some defense early in the year to feel really confident about let's go Final Four here, Jay. I got to see some defense, my friend. Otherwise, I don't know. They're going to have to outscore teams. And, well, that does work sometimes. Sometimes it does not when you're playing, deep into the postseason. So
raise your hand if you want to play in Provo. Nobody's raising their hand. I promise you that much. Nobody wants to do it. Number 8 is BYU. Number 7, the Johnnies. St. John's, the Red Storm out there. If you just look at talent on paper, it's probably the best roster in the country. Just getting off the bus. We can be honest about that. But that doesn't matter. You can't you win the portal, you win the freshman, you win the recruit, whatever it is. That's not it. Issues at point guard, very real. Fit, worrisome, even with that talent. That's just how talented they are, Mike. They're number 7 based off of. So even though there are some legitimate concerns underlying in that team right now, we'll see what Coach Pitino cooks up early. Speaking of cooking, we talked about Kentucky earlier, Mike. They come in at number 6.
Yeah, we got Kentucky +3. What else needs to be said? Deep. They got dudes at every position. We're missing a couple of dudes that are pretty good. Should we, I guess, Kentucky and Kansas get the preseason championship banner, the exhibition championship banners here on One and Done? Like, we'll ship those off to Coach Pope and Coach Self. But it's hard to look at those teams and not say, like, man, they got something cooking there, man. So, yeah, we have Kentucky at 6. Let's jump into the top 5 here, Jay. What do you got?
Number 5, Michigan Wolverines. Lindeborg looks extremely comfortable already in maize and blue. He's good. He should be playing in the NBA right now, but he's not. And I'm glad because we get to talk about him on a regular basis here on One and Done. So shout out to Yaxel for sticking around in school. Shout out to Morez Johnson as well, looking dynamic on both ends. The question mark is the backcourt, just like a little bit earlier with St. John's at the point guard. Will the backcourt hold up for Michigan? That's keeping them right there at a borderline Final Four team. 4 more spots here.
Yep.
Mike, who's number 4?
Yeah, we got Purdue here at number 4, so down a spot. Not really believers in this number 1 ranking that they hold right now. Like, do they have the talent to win it all? Absolutely. Painter's going to need to push all the right buttons. We just talked about fit there. That is going to be huge for them. They're one of the teams to kind of look at, like, as a favorite. Like, what are they doing to start the year to make themselves better? Number 3, we got the Dookie sliding up a spot. Cameron Boozer just wins. He just wins. Anytime he plays basketball, he wins. He's built for the spotlight. Man, even Caden doesn't get any love, right? But I think he'd probably be the starting point guard by the middle of the year because you got some question marks with Caleb Foster at the point guard position, man. The synergy between the 2 Boozer twins, right? Like, it's really good here, man. Like, they just have so much talent, so much length. Patrick Dungbo looks really good. So we got Duke sitting there at the 3rd spot. Finish us up here with number 2, Jay.
Number 2, Rooster Crows cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo. Oh, sorry, I went to Billy Madison there for a minute. Number 2, the champs, the Florida Gators. Best front court in the country, Fland. I love me some Fland. I won't blame it on the good times. I won't blame it on the sunshine. I won't blame it on the moon. Whatever it is, I'll blame it on Boogie. He's going to be a star there. What they do at the 3 is a bit of a concern, but, whatever. They're great. They're going to be good. They're going to kick people's asses all season long. And it doesn't matter that they're going to play in the toughest conference in the land in the SEC. They're that good, and they're going to be good all year. And then at number 1, Mason, it's Nebraska. No, it's not Nebraska. It's of course it's U of H.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, these guys are loaded. They're just going to be the number 1 defensive team in the country. They have outside shooting. They have experience. They have young guns like Sunak. There's just not a lot of weaknesses. As Mason jumps in saying Nebraska. Love it, man. Hey, we'd love to see Nebraska surprise. We'd love to see when our breadheads have a good time during the season.
Yes,
you know, like we wish everybody luck except when they play Texas. As you notice, Texas did not make our top 25, so cannot call us homers. But yeah, Houston, man,
Not
best
yet.
team in the country, says holding on to that number one spot.
I don't think anybody will really have a problem with 1, 2, or 3. With Houston, Florida, and Duke. You can have a conversation about it no matter how you want to do. But again, we're glad that
week 0
in the live chat willing to share their opinions, their commentary, where they feel like these teams should fall. We love to see it. We love to have the interactions in the chat. We love to see that over on X as well. Some, I talked to Darren on X. I talked to Johnny K over there the other day. Like, we love it. We love the interactions over on X. So keep reaching out over there.
Indiana getting votes for number 1 too.
Yeah, of course they are. I don't know, man. Like, obviously that's a tough. Now, okay, now we know. Can we get some Homer flag plant? Can we get some more Homer flag plants here? Tahad, Pettiford National Player of the Year from Sam the Sniper. Shocking. No, we love it, man. We love to see it. He's going to have a great year. No doubt about it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him. Mike, good stuff tonight, man.
Yeah.
What do you think? Maybe
we're
later
here.
this week,
knocking on the door.
DFS, man. We're knocking on the door for the DFS show. What do you think? Maybe end of the week, we'll probably have a DFS
man.
show.
We'll throw out some DFS. See if somebody can take home $5,000, my man. It's that time.
Me, baby. Me. Hey, make sure that you hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Follow our guy behind the scenes at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Eric getting you the studio ready and getting you those fire graphics. Shout out to our guy Nape at Napesy Hustle, pushing the buttons tonight. Always doing a good job. It is the MC Holland 34 Invitational over on DK that we'll be talking about on Friday. And that's that man's handle. Nope. That man's handle right there over there on X. The captain of the one and done ship. Follow him over there. He does the ship, I do the train. Good job tonight, Mike. Good to see you as always, man. We're going to keep it cooking. We're going to keep the gumbo stirring, stirring the stew right here. Speaking of flag plants, Snake's Eye saying he's going to win the one and done league. I'd love to see it.
Nice.
Love to see everybody in the live chat. Thanks, everybody, for participating. Thank you for watching along, whether it was on X or YouTube or whenever it is. We appreciate you for sure. Push all those buttons. Tell somebody that you love them and take care of yourself. We'll see you later on this week. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace out.